Good evening, everyone. It's KP Carter, the Literacy Whisperer, and you are here in the right place at the right time. And this is the Lit Life series. And hello, how are you? Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Do me a favor and please share. Please share that this is happening so that everyone who wants to know about children's authors and promoting children's literacy, they can get in on this live. They can just come and join right on in. I'm going to share with a few of my friends right now, as a matter of fact, and I hope that you all are doing the exact same thing. Again, I'm KP Carter. I am the Literacy Whisperer, and you are with the Lit Life series. Yes, I am just sharing. I see my guest, and I'm waiting for her to join. You know what? I think I'll send her an invite to join. Hey there. Hey. I see someone else I'm waving to. Yes. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Make sure you're sharing now. There she is, yes.
Hey, everybody. Hey, KP.
How you doing, Whitney? It's so good to be here with you. Please share. I was just asking everyone to make sure that they share, to make sure everybody gets in on this wonderful experience that we're about to have.
Awesome. I'll do the same.
Yes, yes. I am just sharing. Hey, all my wonderful friends out there, make sure you're sharing. Come on in. Come on in. I think I'm going to make up a song about that. Come on in. So, you know what? Miss Whitney, we are just going to get started. And folks who join, they will just come on in. Oh, hello there. Here's someone else I'm waving to. How are you? Thank you for being here. I am KP Carter, the Literacy Whisperer, and this is the Lit Life series. Every week, I introduce you to some amazing authors, and we talk about children's literacy, and you get a chance to hear about some wonderful books. Hey there. So, as I said, I'm KP Carter, the Literacy Whisperer, and I whisper wonderful techniques and strategies to help children to become competent, confident readers, to get children on the road to success. And I'm sure children are already being successful, and we want to make sure that they continue on that path. I offer children's books and parent workshops, which I'll talk with you about a little later. Hey there. And so let's just get started. My special guest tonight, I'm so excited to have her. Miss Whitney L Barkley I want to read all of this. I want to get all of this just right.
Goodness.
She's going to light up the stage tonight. She is the author of a children's book entitled Hey Black Girl. She's the director of the Greater West Dayton Incubator and the CEO of Speakarazzi. That's how I know her. Which is a content marketing firm for authors, coaches, speakers, and business owners. So if you need any of those services, Miss Whitney L Barkley is the person for you. Like I said, I met her as the CEO of Speakarazzi. She helped me in the very beginning when I was getting my social media presence together. I was all over the place, and she helped me to rein it in and get it together. And I'm so grateful to her for that service. So Whitney, why don't you share who you are with the audience.
Okay, well, hey everybody, I'm super happy to be a part of the live series. I know this is something that you started to cultivate over time, and I'm just happy to see it grow and see you be able to build this platform. For me, I'm a Midwest girl. I'm born and raised in Columbus, Ohio. I am a graduate of an HBCU, went to Wilberforce University, had my master's in marketing and communications from Franklin University, and I've just been kind of this entrepreneur for a while. I never thought that I would become an entrepreneur. I saw my dad run a business when I was growing up, and I'm like, oh, that's too much for me. You got to shake hands, you got to talk to people. Like, I don't want to do any of that. Like, I just want to go to work and come home. But then I realized like that really wasn't for me. I realized there was so much more than the life that I was living when I was working for someone in the very beginning. So I became an entrepreneur in 2015. So that's kind of where you met me through my endeavor at Speakarazzi. So I kind of used my background in media and marketing, and I figured out how I could try to help others, because there are a lot of people who have great gifts, but people struggle with articulating their gifts. They can go into a room, they can speak, they can tell people, what it is effortlessly. But when it came to social media and just showing up, it was like crickets. Like no one knew how to. So for some reason that came very easily to me. So I'm
Clueless.
share that gift with others. So I did that endeavor for several years. And then recently last year, I was telling a friend like, wow, like if I ever went back to work, it would only be with entrepreneurs. I only want to work with entrepreneurs because this is the lane that I've been in. This is how I need to work. And then that was the opportunity that came up with the Greater West Dayton Incubator. So I'm currently here in Dayton, Ohio, serving entrepreneurs, helping them get connected to funding, helping them get connected to resources, and just letting them know the resources that are available within the city and beyond. But outside of that, so many other things. I'm a SWORK instructor. I love to dance. And as you mentioned before, I'm a Black girl. So I've done that. I also make handmade journals and stationery. So I'm multi-dimensional. You just never know what you'll get with me.
Yeah, I know. I saw you on your page dancing away. I love to dance too, so that really caught my eye.
Yeah.
Yes. So tell us, why did you write Hey Black Girl? And when you do the dramatization that I've seen you do, it's just so it really touches my heart because our Black girls need to know that they are it. They are it. So tell us about that book.
So I wrote Hey Black Girl when I was at a place in my life of transition. So I went to a conference several years ago. You and I both know Joy Lynn Ross. I went to the Act Like an Author, Think Like a Business conference. And I was there. I can't remember what I was doing there that particular year because I've been a part of it in so many different capacities. But I think that particular year, I was there doing social media and videography work. And I heard a session about children's books. And I'm like, wow, this is so cool. Like, what if I wrote one? And then I woke up literally at 5 a.m. Vegas time, and then the words like, hey, Black girl. And I'm like, okay, I need to do something with this. So I got up, I started writing, and I kept, trying to figure out if it was a cadence. At the time, I called one of my friends at like 7 in the morning, like, listen to this. Does this sound right? And, she's telling me like, oh, you might want to change that. Think of this. So, I started to put it together, and then the words, it just flowed. And then I'm like, wow, I wrote a book. Now I need it to be illustrated. So I'm like, well, I should try to figure this out because I've always done graphic design. So I decided to take a stab at it myself, and I essentially illustrated my own children's book. So it really just came to a place of remembering who I am. I think a lot of times we are children, and when we're kids, we're ambitious, we're adventurous. We don't really have a lot of fears until life gives us experiences that makes us fearful of things. And I had to try to remember who I was as a child. Like, who was Whitney White or Whitney White at the time? Who was Whitney White?
Yeah.
And the Whitney that I remember was very fearless, and I wanted to encapsulate that inside of Hey Black Girl. And I just wanted young Black girls to know that they do matter, they are enough, they don't have to stay inside of the box that the world puts them in, because you will be tested throughout life. And I feel like the sooner you learn confidence, the sooner you learn how to be self-empowered, the better you are off as an adult. I'm hoping to help little girls start early.
Oh my goodness. Yes, indeed. That confidence, if we can instill that in our little girls early on, they they can dodge a lot of stuff. I started to say they can dodge a lot of things when you're confident as a young child. Do you have a book that you can show us?
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes.
I have lots of things. Sorry, they're all around me. This is Hey Black Girl, the book.
Hey, Black Girl. And I love it with the glasses. I've worn glasses since I was maybe in the first grade. So
Yep.
I love the glasses. Have you worn glasses a long time?
My glasses since the third grade. It's like I can't live without them. I don't know what to do without glasses.
Yeah, yeah. I went through a contacts period and that got old after a while. But I always had glasses, was breaking them like crazy, and but I have to have glasses. Yes. So I love that message. I love empowering girls. I love letting them know that they are enough and that they can do whatever they put their minds to. And when they come against obstacles, they can surpass them. They can overcome. That's a message for children in reading because a lot of times children, their reading is not always up to par
Absolutely.
and they have a tendency to want to give up. But we have to put that confidence in them to let them know to push through and they can be successful. So speaking of that, those kinds of tips, can you offer a tip or two or three for parents to with reading or with encouraging self-confidence? What can you share with our parents?
I think one of the most important things that I've learned, I think back on my experiences with reading as a child. Um, my mom really didn't allow us to do a lot, but one thing we did do was go to the library and read. And she
Yeah,
was adamant about finding things that you were interested in because when you're interested in something, it really sparks that appreciation for reading. So, when you're in school, they tell you, you got to read this textbook, you got to read this. Yeah, like it may not be interesting, but you have to find a love for reading outside of that. I mean, it's the same thing as an adult. There are a lot of adults who don't read, and I don't think it's a dislike for reading. I just don't think they found the right things to read. So I think it's important to cultivate just kind of that curiosity for children to look for things that they're interested in. And then I think they'll enjoy reading a lot more. In terms of building confidence, I think the biggest part of confidence are words of affirmation. I think especially as a child, it's very important to hear words, to hear that you matter, to hear that you're doing a good job, to hear that you need to move forward. So, I would just say, I'm sorry.
not some. I'm just saying yes, yes, yes.
Oh yes. No, I would just say just think about how you can incorporate words of affirmation into your just daily interactions with your kids. My best friend Annie, I love, she talks to her son every morning and she's like, "Good morning, handsome." It's just little
Yeah.
things that you may not think makes a big difference, but it is a big difference because if your parents or others treat you a certain way, you won't allow other people in the world to treat you a certain way. So I think that's really those words.
Oh my gosh, those such words of inspiration. I'm just looking through here. You have some great comments. Some people are saying, one person said, it's important to find out what's interesting for your child. They completely agree. Absolutely. One of our viewers said that's a reason why uh, let me get this right. That's why I quit piano because it wasn't interesting. You gotta make it interesting. Yes, indeed.
Okay. 4 lessons and I was done, so I understand.
Oh my gosh, 4 lessons.
Yeah, I wasn't a piano girl. I love the violin and the oboe. So those are the
Oh, okay.
child.
Oh, I'm a string player too. I play the viola.
Okay.
I still have a viola. I don't always play it, but I have it. Yes. So I'm just looking here. I see just comments and hearts and things. Does anyone have any questions for our guest? Someone called you a Jill of all trades.
Basically.
I love that. Jill of all trades. I'm so proud of you, Whit. Yes. Lots of positive feedback here. I'm just scrolling through. Oh, but he said, but I play the piano now. Yes.
What is your advice for kids who want to read below their reading level? That's a really good question.
Yeah, yeah. That's something that you let a child, you allow them to read a little bit below sometimes if that's just going to get them interested. Like, for instance, some people use graphic novels as an entry point to reading. But, after a while, you keep nudging them along and sharing with them books to challenge them. And sometimes that means you may have to read with them. Both of you get the same book and read it together and have conversations about the book. Starting a book club, that's another good way to get kids to level up, because they're challenging with their peers, and they're reading in community, and you can introduce books that are more challenging to them. But a lot of children, sometimes they get comfortable and they want to read, I just want to do the easy stuff. And that's okay for a little while, but you don't want to let them go on and on. I hope that answered your question.
That's a
Uh,
when I looked at that, my first thought was, the why. And I think sometimes if you find children who do that, it's just where they're comfortable.
yeah,
They feel like this is what they can conquer. I was going to echo some of your sentiments and just say, I would just try to challenge them with, what do you think about this? Or, if you're having conversations with them, engage them in some sort of dialogue and encouraging them to look up certain information about different things that will challenge them to read more difficult books so they can find the answer for you. So I think that's a great idea. Book clubs, I think, are really good too. I didn't
yes,
it, but as an adult, I think book clubs are everything.
yes. And I always encourage people to start book clubs with their children, because who doesn't like to talk? And who doesn't like to talk to someone about something that both of you are interested in? And it's also, the children will challenge each other, have them make up questions about the reading to check each other's comprehension. Oh, I have some more comments here. She says, I allow below level reading to show the child how far they've come. See, look how many new words you know now since you read this kind of book. That's excellent advice.
Great.
Thank you so much. That's excellent advice. Looking for any more comments. Lots of hearts going up.
She said, I think it's okay. It helps build their confidence.
Yes, it does. It does. You just don't want them to get so comfortable that they just stay in that part. Because if you let a child just coast, they might just get comfortable and just keep on coasting. But you do it, allow them to become confident, and you bring them along. So, my dear Whitney, what's next for you?
What?
I mean, you have so much going on now.
Yeah.
I like to ask this question, but you've got a lot going on now.
Well, my latest endeavor is called Love Yours Stationery. Kind of ties back to my childhood. I remember when I was about 8 or 9 years old, I fell in love with pretty paper. And so my mom, I would decorate it and I would sell it to my family for 50 and 75 cents. So it is so funny. They say as an adult, you always go back to a part of your child. And then,
Yes, you
for my
do.
used to sell that to us. I'm like, oh wow, I did do that. I did do that.
Ah,
That's what I've been doing.
oh my gosh.
I've just been creating stationery. I'll show you guys. So like I make little cards and
Oh
things.
my gosh, that's
Um,
beautiful.
they're handmade. So I
That is absolutely beautiful.
handmade things. I print them. The one thing that I'm very excited about as it relates to Hey Black Girl, I've created a Hey Black Girl journal. So, the book, it addresses so many different things about being a Black girl: your skin color, your hair texture, being too skinny, being a big girl, being too thick, saying too much, talking too loud, you know,
Yes.
all these different things that Black girls hear on a daily, regular basis. So I took the opportunity to think about the central themes of the book, and I took them and I put them into questions. So questions that you need to ask yourself, self-reflective questions. So things that really make you think, who are people who make you feel safe? What was the best day that you've ever had? How do you feel about your hair right now? What have others told you about yourself? What have your parents said? These are things that you want to start to think about, because I feel like we have an opportunity. Like, I think journaling is very important because that's really an opportunity to document our legacies, to show the evolution, who we are currently, and how that journey builds up over time. So I remember being younger, having journals. I was writing in journals when I was like 9 or 10 years old. I still have those journals with me. And it's just interesting to see how my mind has changed over time. And I just think it's important, when people read a book like Hey Black Girl, how do you break down those concepts? My hope with my book was always to have parents and children to have conversation and dialogue. And some people did. I had a friend of mine in Atlanta. Her daughter is about 10. And, she's 10 years old, but she's already pretty shapely. And,
Yeah.
her dad, oh, no, you can't wear these type of shorts. You can't wear this type of clothes. And they had never had a conversation of why she couldn't. And so
Wow.
when they read the book and that part came up and addressed about body type, they were able to have a very candid conversation about body type, why it's important to, dress a certain way, but why it's so important for you to be confident. And, it just opened a door for families to have those types of conversations. So I think it's important for families to have those conversations, but it's also important for children to reflect and think about those things themselves. I just think it just makes them more dynamic, and it allows them to really start that journey of self-exploration, even though we may not call it to them that, or they may not see it that way, but
Yeah.
they get into the habit of reflecting on who they are.
That is so important because sometimes, we rush through life and we don't ever get a chance to just sit and just, reflect. And if we're teaching kids to do that at a young age, they're ahead of the game. They're ahead of the game. And I love those writing. Those are great writing prompts. Someone made that comment here. The different topics that you have in your journal. Those are excellent writing prompts to get kids to think about themselves and be introspective and not allow the outside world to have so much influence over them.
It is. I mean, I think there's such a big difference between understanding your intuition and the noise, right? I think the world is noise. We did some research and we found that the average person receives or downloads personally over 10,000 messages every day. Think about things people are telling you, social media, billboards, stuff you see on buses, cars. Like, there's so many messages that we see every day. And we have to take the time to process, okay, am I really thinking, is it really me? Or is this what the world is projecting on me? So you have to learn how to find your voice in the midst of the noise.
Definitely, definitely, because there is a lot of noise out there. So I've seen folks asking questions about where can they get their book? Where can they get your book? That's
So
what
you
people want to know.
so you can get the Hey Black Girl book at siploveyours.com. So it's on my stationery site, but the books are available there if you're interested in the book.
Spell that for me because I want to put that in the caption.
Absolutely. It's SIPLUVYOURS.com.
Gotcha. And we know that it's always helpful to authors to purchase their books directly from them. And plus you get a signed copy. We know Amazon is great, Ingram Spark is great, but it's a wonderful thing when authors sell their books from their sites, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. If you order from siploveyours.com, it comes directly from me. So source your book.
Yes. So Any other questions does anyone have for Whitney? I'm just looking through. You have so many positive comments. Lots of hearts have been going up.
KP, is there any time to share this piece?
Oh, let's see. What time is it? Because
I have a time for like
yes,
30 seconds.
yes, because I had to turn everything else off so I didn't get distracted. Please do.
All right, I'll share with you guys. Hey, Black girl. No matter who you are, whether big or small, you are more than enough and can have it all. The world may say, you're too this or you're too that. Put those cakes away. You're too big to have a snack. Give it to her. She needs meat on her bones. Put some clothes on, girl. Your body is too grown. Add some heat to your hair. It's way too kinky. Make it long and straight, and then you'll be pretty. Shh. Be quiet. You're way too loud. Stay in the box we put you in and don't make a sound. Hey, Black girl, want to change that chocolate skin? Ready to change everything on the outside so you forget who you are within? Forget those dreams of being something, because the way the world is set up, your life means nothing. Hey, Black girl, did I say too much? I thought you were built to steal, superwoman, and can't be touched. Hey, world, shush. Shh. I am more than enough. My body is fine the way that it is, whether I'm big, skinny, or thick. I don't look to you to be beautiful because my confidence is a bliss. I love every kink, coil, and curl of my hair. I wear it like a crown because my style is rare. I will never be quiet because what I say matter. I will be seen and heard, none the less or the latter. Hey world, my skin is so rich, it makes me feel wealthy. I would never change a thing about myself. I was born to be the best me. My dreams are on a pavement, a Black girl in motion. My life matters, no matter your emotions. Hey, Black girls, no matter who you are, whether big or small, you are more than enough and can absolutely have it all.
Wow. That makes me want to just snap. You remember? Well, I'm sure you don't remember, but back in the day when people would read, snap. That was wonderful. That was one. And I've seen you perform that several times on your different pages. Thank you
Thank
so much for sharing that. Thank you. So before we go, there's lots of hearts going up. That was
you.
wonderful.
Thank you for allowing me to share.
You are welcome. Before we go, I just want to remind everyone that I am relaunching Summertime with Lizzie Behave, and the date is August 23rd. I'm so excited. I'm sharing some new twists and turns in the life of Lizzie Behaves, and it's Lizzie, 8-year-old Lizzie, 3 generations of her colorful family. They're living their ordinary lives during an extraordinary time period. And that extraordinary time is 1967 in Newark, New Jersey. And those of you who are history buffs, you know what happened in 1967, that summer. That was the summer of the rebellion or the riot or the revolution or whatever you may refer to it as. But it's family love, people just living their lives in the midst of one of the most tumultuous times in our country's history. So stay tuned for that. It's available for pre-order now on my website. I'll put all of that in the caption. Any more questions? I see lots and lots of hearts and exclamation points. Thank you so much, Whitney. I'm so glad that we were able to connect and have you come on. I'm so grateful to you for helping me to continue my series. We spoke about this. I asked you in the very beginning for some encouragement about how to do this, and I appreciate you for that. So if there's no more questions, don't have any more questions. Until next time, I wish you love, laughter, and literacy. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
You're welcome.